Hi everyone, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to another video. Today's video is going to be all about two different altcoins, Hedera Hashgraph HBAR and Origin Trail TRAC. Origin Trail TRAC we've been covering a lot in the Patreon recently, and I've had a couple of questions off people saying, Rai, what can we be expecting if we do join the Patreon? What type of stuff are you going to be posting? What can we expect to see? So I thought I would give a little bit of insight as to what I'm posting on here, some past analysis. This was back in November, 14th of November, just outlining for Bitcoin why we thought we was going to drop down to the zone with key confluence, with heat maps and just updating. And, we saw the price of Bitcoin directly hit that zone. And since then, we've had a really nice bounce to the upside. So little lower time frame things like that for Bitcoin. And also lower time frame stuff like this for altcoins like TRAC, like 2 days ago, outlining why we thought that area at around 26-27 cent was going to be a really good risk to reward. Easy invalidation below 24 cent. Anyone that entered at that level has been able to capitalize on a major move to the upside for TRAC of around 40% to the upside. So yeah, things like this, we are obviously on the Patreon posting our entry and exit strategies for certain altcoins, and I've posted my exit strategy for Origin Trail, DOT, HBAR. These are all things that are going to be posted or have been posted or are coming up in the future. So yep, things like that, guys. Bitcoin higher time frame, lower time frame, altcoin exit, entry strategies, and teaching a little bit about the psychology of the market, Elliott wave, and just little things, tips and tricks that I've learned throughout the years in the market. So if you do want to join, it is just $10 a month, and it's Crypto Ryan 17, like I am on Twitter and like I am on YouTube. I'll leave the link in the description, and it's on my channel as well. So yeah, that was just a little sneak peek as to what it is on the Patreon, little things, little tips and tricks that I've learned throughout the years that hopefully I can help other people and share that information with. Just jumping straight into HBAR here, the three main things that I want to point out here on HBAR is when we talk about bearish candles like this breaking the range, and we talk about bearish candles breaking the range, and bearish candles breaking the range, and we get three clear zones here for HBAR as to where price has been manipulated above and below, but really some three key reactionary zones, and these were the main reasons why I was buying down here back in late December 2022, because I expected this bearish candle here of the range break to come into play, and that's why we were selling up at around 9 cent. So when we take a look at HBAR right now, just taking a little scroll across, look at how important these three reactionary zones have been for HBAR since all the way back to November 2022, August 2022. These zones are absolutely critical for HBAR, and right now we're right at the mid-range and just breaking back above. And one thing I would point out is look at all these wicks of liquidity to the upside, not taken, not taken, not taken. Even this wick of liquidity here for HBAR, not taken. So I would argue right now that the liquidity is mostly to the upside, with HBAR now working its way into the middle of the range, looking to progress and push maybe a bit of a retest. We've had a bullish candle range break here, so we would expect, like on the bearish candles, at least a retest here in the future. If we don't get it now, we're probably going to possibly come back down to it, but that's for a future discussion. But on the lower time frame, HBAR is showing extreme strength at the minute. Really good sign. The HBAR Bitcoin chart as well that we've been posting on the Patreon, or will be posting a lot more of, is really giving us the clues as to where HBAR might be heading on the lower time frame. So what I want to do is just jump into some RSI analysis. One thing I want to point out here is we've had a trend line to the downside here for the RSI, in which case HBAR has broken out of, retested, and is now moving into the overbought territory on the 3 daily time frame on the RSI. And many people might say, oh no, we're overbought, that means the move is over. However, if you make note in HBAR's history and any altcoin and Bitcoin's history really, if you take a look at the RSI, as soon as we start crossing for that 3 daily time frame on the RSI, the meat of the move is really not even beginning for HBAR. It's happened once, twice, 3 times. Even there, we got a little bit of bearish divergence with the hit to the high. So there was the clues to say, we're potentially coming to the end of a move for HBAR with that bearish divergence. But at the minute, we're sort of seeing none of that. The high is taking out the previous high. We've broken the trend. We're breaking into the overbought territory, and we can stay in these overbought territories for a long time. Take a look at what happened here for HBAR. Soon as we broke out into that overbought territory, January 2021, from that moment we broke out, we went on for a 600, 700% move, all the way to the top over 1,000%. So many people that sold the overbought territory would have missed the meat of the move, which is what we could be getting right now. Because take a look at this big long accumulation range for HBAR. It's nothing like what we've seen in these situations here, where we've had short pumps to the upside and then little parabolic moves to the upside. It's more akin to the move that we had back here for HBAR with long accumulation and a range break to the upside. So one thing we're seeing right now on the trend line is that if HBAR, I think HBAR is about to get very, very volatile actually. We'll get the RSI off there. We've seen it in previous price history. If we start getting very volatile here, long in shorts getting wiped out, longs getting wiped out, a range here that just keeps getting manipulated, potentially come back and retest that 6 cent zone with that bullish candle there. I think that's a really good sign. Although many people will be panicking and getting excited on the pumps and dumps, it's a good sign to say, you know, people are getting wiped out and we're potentially looking for some of them higher time frame zones to the upside. First major key zone is the bearish candle here for HBAR. We've reiterated this for so long now. About 17, 18 cent is going to be the first major area of key significance for myself. And then we start to move on to some higher time frame targets to the upside, which I will be posting on the Patreon with the full exit plan and strategy. But one thing I want to point out here for HBAR is I think things are about to get very, very volatile. Many people are going to get wiped out long in and short in this range, I do believe. Look out for the trend line retest. You'll probably get 1, 2 or even 3 coming back into that key area of significance, which if we just extend out to the left, you can see it's got major reactions with the bearish candles, the bullish candles, area of resistance, and now hopefully an area of support. And that can be our key area and key significant area to say, you know, if we do drop below that and get a bit of a retest, then this analysis was potentially wrong. So risk to reward when you start to see that retest of the trend is looking really favourable for HBAR. If we do not get any developments on the 3 daily time frame and the RSI giving us some bearish divergence, then I do believe the next major higher time frame target is going to be about 17 cent, and if not that, this area of consolidation about 12 to 13 cent. But we're going to have that planned out, guys. We're going to have areas and exit strategies for HBAR put on the Patreon. So just moving on to Origin Trail TRAC, you will see on the 3 daily time frame in the previous price history back in January 2023, moving into February, the same thing. We had a trend line break to the downside, retest, moved our way up into that overbought territory, but many people who sold in the overbought territory at 70 levels missed the majority of the move to the upside for TRAC. You can see when once we really went into that overbought territory, we had another nearly a 100% move to the upside. So overbought territory is something is quite misconstrued sometimes, especially on lower time frames. People think, oh no, we're in overbought territory, we can't go any higher. And it couldn't be further from the truth, especially when on the higher time frames we've had longer accumulation, long lasting trend lines that have come in and got a retest, then only just working our way into the 3 daily RSI overbought territory with no bearish divergence, big green candles coming into play, which obviously gives us a key significant zone as to where we might want to see TRAC come down to in the future. But on the higher time frame and the lower time frame, we've got our ranges to the upside that we've set with exit strategies and exit plans on the Patreon. Um, it goes into more detail as to why and when I'm doing things and what I'm doing and any changes that I'm seeing in the lower time frame. So I do try and keep it updated on there. But yeah, I think if anyone is looking for that kind of thing to see what I'm doing, just join up. It's one of them things. If you want to join, you want to join. If you don't want to join, I'm not going to force you. I'm just going to keep making YouTube videos and Twitter analysis anyway. But just take a look at what we've seen here for TRAC. Trend line break to the downside, retest. Is this where we potentially are right now for HBAR? But TRAC has given us a bit of a clue as to what can be expected for HBAR in the coming weeks. As you can see, it got very volatile, up, down. People getting wrecked longing and shorting this. But, you know, as we've finally seen the range break to the upside, many people looking to pile in now as we look to potentially take some profits on the lower time frame. The one thing I will say about Origin Trail is that it came out in a bull run, came out in 2021. So we've never really seen a long-term accumulation structure for TRAC and Origin Trail to extend into a next bull market. And if we take a look at the date range here of this accumulation phase that's been going on for TRAC, we're talking about 563 days, nearly 2 years. So when we start to think about accumulation ranges that have happened in the past for altcoins, different altcoins in previous bull runs, we see 2 year long accumulation ranges with an AI narrative going into the future. I think TRAC and Origin Trail is one of the underrated, underutilized aspects of the market at the minute. I think many people are focusing on other coins, but we've seen a AI narrative and an AI coin go through such a long period of accumulation here. I think people are going to end up regretting not at least even having a position down at these levels. We've talked about entries, we've talked about exits, but really on the higher time frame, look at where we are, guys, for Track and Origin Trail in comparison as to where we could be. It doesn't take a genius to see accumulation. It doesn't take a genius to see long-term accumulation occurring at these levels, whether it's up or down on the lower time frame. It doesn't matter too much. That's what the Patreon's for. That's what we're trying to analyze. But higher time frame, guys. I think if you've got a position, just sitting back, relaxing, letting the market do the work is one of the most fundamental things that we can do at the minute. For HBAR and TRAC and many altcoins, I think many people are going to sell too early and not have a plan. And I think many people are going to regret not keeping at least a bit of a position for higher levels, or at least selling a little bit of a position to rebuy at lower levels. And that's what it's all about: having a plan, having an exit strategy, having an entry strategy with capitulation levels, so you can keep your mind in check and keep everything going according to plan. So guys, if you like the analysis, give it a like. Any comments, subscriptions, always appreciated. Sit back, relax, let the market do the work. Of course, it's not financial advice, but I'll see you next time. Cheers.